Now, the deep state, they understand what's coming. We know that a lot of individuals like Comey, Brennan, Hillary Clinton, many others, they're sending out messages and they are pushing their own agenda. Remember, there are two things happening right now. We have the deep state where they think they're in control and they're pushing everything they possibly can. Everything that they wanted to do in the past, they're doing right now. We're going to be going through that in just a moment. The world is watching right now. They are seeing this firsthand. A lot of the conspiracies that we talked about are actually coming true because they are showing their hand. Now, think about this for a sec. Was this part of the plan of the Patriots? To allow the deep state to show the people, the world, what they wanted to do to society. I do believe that this was the point. And they're allowing them to do it up until a certain period. Then they're going to turn the tables on them. And everything is going to change. I do believe that they are in the setup phase. And I'm talking about the Patriots, where they're setting everything up. They already launched the mission. Tick-tock, the clock is ticking down. We're going to be discussing all of this a little bit later and what Trump tweeted out today and some other important information. Now, first, as we can see, there's a lot of information coming out about Pfizer right now, how there were errors, how the FBI omitted certain facts. Now, we all knew this, but this has to come out. And it's showing that the mainstream media, the Dems, and the rest, who said, we followed all the rules, there are no problems whatsoever, it's turning out there are a huge amount of problems. Now, Technofog tweeted this out. Pfizer court issues order on latest IG findings of serious abuse. This includes, number one, government must give court names of all targets in the 29 applications found deficient. Number two, assesses whether those issues render applications invalid. Now, think about this for a second. If they cannot produce any of this, these Pfizer warrants become invalid, which means everything else is null and void. And I'm talking about Flynn, I'm talking about the Mueller investigation, I'm talking about all the Pfizer applications on Carter Page and George Papadopoulos and the rest. All of it is null and void, which means they didn't follow the Woods procedures, which means this whole thing was a setup. How did they get it past the Pfizer court? By lying. They are now caught in their lie. They are caught in their cover-up. Remember, the spying happened way before. They were trying to cover all this up. We actually have changed emails saying that Carter Page wasn't working with the CIA. He was a Russian agent. All of this is fake, phony, and false. And now we have John Durham. He is going after Brennan really hard. His entire investigation has intensified on John Brennan. He is scrutinizing Brennan in relation to British ex-spy Christopher Steele's dossier. In particular, the prosecutor is looking for answers on whether it was used in the 2017 assessment, why former FBI Director James Comey and FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe insisted upon it being part of the assessment, how allegations from the dossier ended up in the assessment's appendix, and whether Brennan misled about the dossier use. He's honing in on all of this. And then we come to find out about Seth Rich. Now, this is very interesting because we mentioned Seth Rich a while back. We know that Julian Assange, right now, he's in the middle of his extradition trial. And this whole thing is starting to come together. Now, this is from the Gateway Pundit, saying that the former Department of Justice Assistant U.S. Attorney admits FBI examined Seth Rich's computer and she met with the FBI and Mueller gang, but no 302s have been provided to date. So if they met, they had to have 302s. This is part of their procedure, so they have to be someplace. Now, if we go back to post 1008, now, this is April 4th, 2018. Today's April 3rd. This is coming up tomorrow. Look how everything is coming together. What does this say? It says Julian Assange, Seth Rich, MS-13 187, MS-13, The Wheel, and the mainstream media, no investigation into WL receipt of information, no pull down of NSA metadata trace, C to WL. Oh, and by the way, WL is WikiLeaks. No pull down of NSA metadata, period. Nothing transferred across web. Direct bypass dump. No direct investigation into DNC computer software. No direct investigation into CS. And what is CS? CrowdStrike. FBI, SC, DOJ, Fed. G. Simply trust CrowdStrike's report on data breach. Hussein block, Hussein control. Hussein state secrets, White House, National Security Articles 1 through 9 buried. A1 attached, America for sale. Cheatin' Obama, trust the plan. April showers. And now the FBI has to produce the 302s. This is happening at the same exact time that we see this post 2 years ago on this date. Now, this is all very interesting because we are now headed into a period of time where the deep state, all those plans of the invisible people behind the curtain, they are now pushing these plans out there. They're showing the world what they actually wanted. Now, as we move forward, we know there are certain individuals, Hollywood actors, actresses, TV personalities. We understand there are certain news individuals that are getting the coronavirus, and certain individuals are dying from the coronavirus. And it's just very interesting who's actually getting it. Now, Kevin Thomas Duffy, he's a prominent Manhattan federal judge. He presided over the trial for the terrorists who bombed the World Trade Center in 93. And he died of coronavirus. He was 87 years old. Now, that's very interesting because while the trial was going on, these terrorists or these individuals were saying that they had nothing to do with this. They weren't a part of this at all. And remember, we had these passports that just floated down from these buildings that were crashing down and burning, and they were in perfect shape. And they knew exactly who to go after. Very interesting. Now, it seems that the mainstream media, they're starting to project out there that this coronavirus might not have come from a bat or it was out there naturally. We see out of the Washington Post, and we see this a lot with the mainstream media. When everything doesn't go as planned, they start to project out there and they start to put out articles saying, well, maybe this isn't the way it happened. Maybe it could have happened this way. And that's exactly what the Washington Post is doing right now. Their headline is, how did COVID-19 begin? Its initial origin story is shaky. Now they're talking about the Wuhan laboratory. That's right next door. So now they're switching gears and they're projecting out there that it might not have come from the market. It might have come from some other place. We just don't know yet. So they're trying to get ahead of the story. And remember, to bring this crisis to the extent that it is today, they had to create fear, panic, chaos. And this is what the mainstream media did. This is what Fauci, the WHO, the CDC. Remember, Fauci, deep state player. Trump is using him as optics. He needs him. He's keeping them very, very busy while they're doing the other mission behind the scenes. So what did AG Barr come out and say? We're going to go after those people that are hoarding medical supplies. And what have we come to find? There's a lot of people hoarding masks, ventilators, and many other supplies. And we're starting to find them. Actually, authorities, they removed close to 1 million masks, gloves, gowns, and other medical supplies after a Brooklyn man was caught allegedly hoarding the equipment. I mean, think about it. 1 million masks. It seems that this might have been planned. How did they know to hoard all of this? Where did they get it from? Where did you get 1 million masks? It seems like the deep state, they had this planned out way ahead of time. And this is why people are not calling it a pandemic. They're calling it a plandemic. Now, very interestingly, in the past, we talked about how these tech companies, Google, Facebook, and the rest, and actually Q has mentioned this too, how they are tracking every single person, how they're listening, how they're watching. Now, of course, in the past, the mainstream media called this a conspiracy. They said this is not true. It's impossible. Then how in the world is Google going to release your location data if they're not tracking you? That means they have the ability to track. and now they're releasing it. Think about what is happening right now. They're showing exactly what we talked about years ago. They're showing the public, yeah, we had the ability to do this. We kept the data. We know exactly where you are. We know exactly what you've been doing. The Kate Awakening, she tweeted out this. You conspiracy theorists are nuts. Big tech does not use our devices to track our every move. And even if they could, they would never use it against you. And Google released location data to help authorities check lockdowns. So right there and then, this is exactly what they've been doing all along, and now it's exposed to the world. Think about what is happening right now. Everything that we talked about in the past, they're showing their true color. Now Gates is out there. He's letting everyone know exactly what he wants to do. He wants mandatory vaccines. He wants to make sure that you have paperwork. If you don't have the paperwork, you can't do anything. And the stars are supporting this. Actually, Madonna tweeted this out. I'm joining the Gates Foundation effort to find a drug that will prevent or treat COVID-19. We need this to protect our health workers, the most vulnerable, and all our friends and families. We already have a drug. It's called hydroxychloroquine. It cures you. There's no problems. And let's go back to post 1276. Q here says, follow the stars. It's everywhere. Now, think about this. Bill Gates wants to vaccinate everyone. So the guy who wants to depopulate the world, he wants to cure everyone? How can this be? It makes no sense. First of all, he's telling everyone to get vaccinated. Is he a doctor? Is he a scientist? Why are we even listening to him? He has no credentials. I can find 10 other people that will go against him. This is his plan with those invisible enemies. And what else is this doing? This is forcing all these individuals out into the spotlight. The curtain has been pulled back, and now you can see their true agenda. Now, what's very interesting, they're talking about vaccines and all this other stuff. Hydroxychloroquine. Around the globe right now, there's been a global survey, and they are getting incredible results from it. The survey, released on Thursday and conducted by Sermo, a global healthcare polling company, asked 6,227 physicians in 30 countries to find out what works against SARS-CoV-2. The poll found that 37% of those treating patients from the coronavirus that causes COVID-19, patients rated hydroxychloroquine as the most effective therapy. The physicians picked hydroxychloroquine from a list of 15 choices. Now that is very interesting. And you know what else is very interesting? Trump, he sent a letter to Senator Schumer. And this is what he wrote. He said, the Defense Production Act has been consistently used by my team and me for the purchase of billions of dollars worth of equipment, medical supplies, ventilators, and other related items. It has been powerful leverage. So powerful that companies generally do whatever we ask of them without even a formal notice. They know something is coming, and that's all they need to know. Now that says it right there. They know that something is coming, and they're nervous, they're afraid, and they're doing whatever he says. And if you really listen to the pressers, Trump has made it perfectly clear that the recommendation to shut down businesses and to do all this was made by the doctors, not him, Fauci, Birx, and the others. Remember, Fauci, he has been put out in the front for optics. He's keeping everyone busy. While Trump and the Patriots, they prepare their mission. When all this is said and done, most likely, Fauci is going to take the fall for this. Think about how Trump works. Now, what's very interesting is that the travel State Department, they're telling everyone that you need to come home now. Do not delay. You need to come home because soon transportation to the United States is going to become unavailable. And I do believe this is when the mission starts. Now, DHS, they are out there saying these COVID-19 checkpoints are really helping with human trafficking. Now, this is very interesting because we know that all this hospital setup and the ships, Mercy, Comfort, and everything that's being put into place, we know that this is really not for the COVID-19 patients. Actually, for the ships, we know that they're not accepting COVID-19 patients. They're accepting non-COVID-19 patients, which is very interesting in itself. But DHS is saying that this is really helping them find those who are trafficking humans. And according to a Polaris project, which studies human trafficking, it is estimated that the total number of victims in the United States is in the hundreds of thousands. The International Labor Organization says human trafficking is a $150 billion industry worldwide. Victims of both sex and labor trafficking commonly travel on interstate highways and through airports. As a result, it is important that all of those at checkpoints and screening locations are aware of the indicators of human trafficking and understand their role in combating this crime. And then they give a list of all the things that you should be looking for. So they are now cracking down and looking for these individuals. And what's very interesting is that Florida, actually Jacksonville, this is among the 3 worst human trafficking states. And we know there's been reports about people coming down from New York to Florida. Very interesting. Now, the U.S. Coast Guard, they seized 19,000 pounds of cocaine, and they apprehended smugglers. And this was right outside of Florida. And who are these individuals? What else were they smuggling? It really doesn't say, but that is very interesting. Now, remember when Trump mentioned a woman that was rescued? Well, that information is coming up once again. People are asking questions. Who is this person? Why was she rescued? The general that rescued or handled the mission was General Milley. He's handling the mission right now, going after the enhanced narcotics. So think about that for a second. He put it out there that they saved this woman who had bad things done to her in a certain country, and I do believe it was Honduras, and she was horribly treated, and now they have her. And this was General Milley. So there's a reason he put this out there. Now, Save the Children tweeted this out. If I don't know any better, I think maybe this country was preparing to help a lot of human trafficking victims heal from trauma and assimilate into society. So why did Save the Children say this? Because if you look, and this is what Save the Children linked to, it says United States Attorney William M. McSwain announces more than $36 million available to fight human trafficking and assist victims. This was on April 2nd. And then we have grants will fund 6 to 24 months of transitional housing or short-term housing assistance for trafficking victims. And it goes on and on and on. Department of Justice. Office of Justice Programs announced more than $55 million available to fight human trafficking and help trafficking victims. So it looks like they are preparing for something to happen here. And it looks like it has to do with human trafficking and children. Now, the White House photos, they put up a picture today, and this was a picture of an evergreen tree with a mockingbird. Who's evergreen? That's Hillary Clinton's United States Secret Service name. What's Mockingbird? Well, that's Operation Mockingbird. Operation Mockingbird is a large-scale program of the United States Central Intelligence Agency that began in the 50s, and it was used to manipulate the news media for propaganda purposes. It funded student and cultural organizations and magazines as front organizations. So why did they put this out there? Letting us know that Evergreen provides information to the mainstream media. Operation Mockingbird. Now, it seems that these ships that are in port right now, they're starting to realize that they're not taking on many patients right now. Remember, they're taking on the non-COVID-19 patients. And Governor Cuomo's out there saying, we don't have a lot of non-COVID-19 patients to send to the ship. So what else can we do here? This doesn't make sense. Actually, Lisa Crowley tweeted out, fewer than 40 patients being treated on USNS Mercy and USNS Comfort. Cuomo said, we effectively don't have non-COVID patients. Now, that's very interesting. We know that the spokesperson for Comfort and Mercy, they said they will be accepting patients come next week. And I don't believe this has anything to do with New York or California. I believe this has to do with human trafficking children, and these patients are going to be coming to these ships and to other places that they've already set this up. Now, I want to go back to 2 years ago. This is 2018, post 995. This is a 2-year delta. And these are lining up pretty darn good to what's happening right now. This is post 995, April 3rd, 2018. And it says, future proves past. Several today. 1 day. Military, border. Keep watching the news. April, it has A in kill brackets, Moab. So something is about to happen. Then we go to post 997. Still April 3rd, 2018. Pope, and that's in kill brackets, bold, will be having a very terrible May. Those who backed him will be pushed into the light, dark to light, truth. Then we have post 999. Why is Epstein spending $29 million to bury the tunnels underneath the temple on Epstein Island? Problem. Phones were allowed in. These people are stupid. Now, what's very interesting is that Q mentions tunnels. Why is he burying the tunnels? I do believe that they're rescuing certain children from tunnels. Post 1005. War. No deals. And then we move on to post 1006. It says, UK rogue failure, POTUS decline, prepared at all costs, and then there's 188 exclamation points. And then it says, count your beats. Now, 188, that can mean anything. I mean, 188 heartbeats. If your heart is beating at 188 beats per minute, you're going to be dizzy. You're going to need fluid. You're going to need something else because it's something that's not normal. So is that what Q is talking about? At this point, I really don't know. But in post 1007, this is very interesting. Bunker, forest, blue, then there's a plus, then there's 2 pluses and 3 pluses. April showers. Now, Melania Trump, she tweeted out, this evening at White House is lit blue in honor of World Autism Awareness Day. Now, the White House is in blue, and it shows 5 columns. And in this post, it says blue. But there's also 5 columns. Blue Sky said, I wonder what 5 columns means. And it's the 5th column. A 5th column is a group of people who undermine a larger group from within, usually in favor of an enemy group or a nation. The activities of a 5th column can be overt or clandestine. Forces gathered in secret can mobilize openly to assist an external attack. And once again, we know that these individuals have been attacking the U.S. from the inside. Now, Enoch tweeted out something really interesting. And Enoch has been following Trump's tweets. Trump would misspell something, leave a letter out, delete it, and then retweet it. You can see these tweets if you go to Trump archives, and you can see old tweets that have been deleted. But let me read what Enoch says here. 1. Trump invokes P. Number 2. Trump tweets, deletes, typo A. Number 3. Trump tweets, deletes, typo I. Number 4. Trump typo in Schumer letter, missing N. Number 5. Trump tweets about P again, confirming. Now, odds, this is a naturally occurring random event, almost 0. What does that spell? It spells pain. So let's go to the post that Enoch listed here. And he said, standard deviation broken long ago. Why are we under heavy fire? Why are we so important to the fake news media? Attacks coordinated. The swamp is everywhere. There is a reason some could no longer be trusted. You are witnessing the systematic destruction of the old guard. Forced exposure. Standard deviation broken long ago. Then says pain. And then Enoch says, so many layers to this. Was thinking I should be looking for a 23 next. Found it in the above Q post. The timestamp 423. Noted. Confirmed go orders. Now it says P Act. Red stringer. And this is in the post. This is November 25th, 2017. So when you look at this and you look at this post, Enoch says, I believe these tweets are go orders for Red 1, Red 2, mercy and comfort, directly after the pain decode. Could also be another Q proof. So think about what Trump tweeted out today. We hit 3M hard today after seeing what they were doing with their masks. P-Act, which fits right into this Q post. All the way. P-Act all the way. Big surprise to many in government as to what they were doing. Will have a big price to pay. Then he said, great job being done by Bank of America and many community banks throughout the country. Small businesses appreciate your work. So it says, twit, P-Act, small. And it fits into this post, which the go orders is to say the operation is a go. And then Enoch says, but wait, there's more. Now read this Q post with a 2-year delta, April 3rd, 2018. Imagine the RR is Red 1 and Red 2. Does it read as if it were describing today? Now, we just read this post. This is April 3rd, 2018. Future proves past, several today. One day, Red 1, Red 2. Military, border, keep watching the news. April, Moab. And it really does make sense. Now, what's very interesting is that Trump tweeted something out from the SBA, and I don't believe the wording on top fits with what SBA is saying, but it is there. It says, stay vigilant in all caps. Remember that for a second, because I want to go to Hillary Clinton's tweet. It says, a movie recommendation as you stay home this weekend, Slay the Dragon, is an inspiring new film from @participant about how Americans fall short of every vote counting equally and how all of us can fight back. It begins streaming today. Now the question is, what is she talking about? I remember back in a Newsweek magazine, Kanye West said that Trump has dragon energy. And here, Hillary is talking about Slay the Dragon. And she says it begins streaming today. Is she giving the order to take out Trump? Maybe. Is this why Trump retweeted the SBA and said, stay vigilant? That brings us to post 1400. It says, what is the common theme when bad news is about to break against them? Stay vigilant. I decided to take this a little bit further and look up the word vigilant and see what post came up. This is post 1600. It says, chatter, trains, buses, be vigilant. Didn't we just have a train incident? They ran it off the tracks in LA trying to hit the ship. Didn't we just have Comey letting us know that a trained person is the only person that can do this? So then I go to post 3568. It says 24-hour warning, in brackets, bold, be vigilant, see something, say something, know your surroundings at all times. Is news about to break and the deep state is going to try to stop it in the next 24 hours? Then I move to post 3010. This is March 2019. Trump tweeted out once, this is back September 5th, 2018, the word treason. That is in this post. Down below, it says it's about to happen. Be vigilant. Now we'll have to see what happens. Again, we're interpreting what all this is about, and we're following the clues as we move forward. And I wanted to end with post 1735 because it seems that this really sums up what is about to happen. This is what Q said. There is nothing more precious than our children. Evil has no boundaries. The choice to know will ultimately be yours. These people are sick. To those who are courageous enough to speak out, we stand with you. You are not alone in this fight. God bless. For some reason, with everything that we've been looking at, it seems that they're going after these children, human trafficking. Everything is leading up to this. And we'll have to see what happens come next week, because it seems like everything is about to change. Remember, the person for comfort and mercy, they're going to be accepting people come next week. A lot of people, 50 a day or so. And I believe the other areas are going to be receiving a lot of individuals. And Trump did come out and say that these next 2 weeks are going to be very difficult for the American people. We're going to have to come together as a nation to get over this. And I do believe the mission